I was on Instagram the other day when I was shown an ad from a company called Zorna that I had never heard of before, presenting me with a bag that I immediately fell in love with. The design was a mix of bold and traditional, and it had two gorgeous golden hands. And what won me over was to learn that these two golden hands were gold plated with 24 karat gold, something you can't find anymore on a Chanel bag. All of this for $200, which is less than what I paid a fake Saint Laurent for. And so obviously I couldn't resist, so I bought the bag, and we're gonna see if I got totally scammed or if I just made a steal. And to be sure, because I am not an expert in metal, I'm gonna take you with me to the goldsmith to make sure that those hands are indeed plated with 24 karat gold. This is the packaging of the bag, so far it screams scam to me. I saw on their socials that the bag is supposed to come in a box, and that's also what they say on the website. So I have to say I was a little bit disappointed. Oh, we're straight on the dust bag. Alors, I don't know if they had planned that I open it like this, but we have the logo. Voila our dust bag. It feels cheap AF. Let's reveal the bag. There we have it. Our sac de jour from Zorna. I love the design, honestly. It's very inspired, I assume, from the sac de jour from Saint Laurent. So it does smell like leather. Less than the Saint Laurent that we unboxed last time, way less, but still decent. So honestly, that's a good point. They claim on their website that they use top grain calf skin. So for context, you have different grades of leather, the best type of leather being full grain. I can easily tell that it's not full grain. Calf skin, I'm not really able to tell. Calf skin is really supple. It's a leather that feels really nice compared to cowhide. As you can see, we have quite a lot of paint on the edges, and that can indicate that the tanning has been done in a very superficial manner. They use this technique to hide the blue aspect of something that is not tanned very well. And you can see here, if you look really closely, that the tanning is not as good as a true luxury brand. It's definitely not top leather, top tanning, top techniques. Ugh. Hardware here is definitely not gold. This is a really, really tacky gold. So for the inside, they said on the website that it's microfiber leather, which is basically leather dust put together. It's giving quite a cheap feel to the bag, honestly, which is really a shame. If they had just used like, I don't know, just a simple cotton. So when you're using it, it doesn't make you feel like you're having this luxurious experience every single time you open your bag, which in my opinion is why you buy luxury bags. The zip feels expensive. The little pocket thing inside feels expensive. And so let's now reveal our hardware. The way these take the light makes me think that we're indeed talking about real gold. So I'm gonna take this lady to the goldsmith in a couple of days, and then we'll have our verdict. So we went to two goldsmiths. Neither of them accepted that we film inside or that we film them, but they did give us a bit of information. They can't really test if it's gold plated, because if they wanted to do so, they would have to scratch the metal and then do an acid test, but then the acid test would turn out negative because we know that there is metal under. But both of them said that it looked like it was indeed gold plated, so gold plated metal, because you can find also gold plated silver, but here it really looked like gold plated metal. One of them took out a bracelet that was in gold plated metal, and it was really the same color and the same kind of shine. So we don't have 100% certainty that these hands are indeed gold plated, but it's very likely that they are. So since our visits at the goldsmithies, I did a bit more research to understand how gold plating actually works. It turns out that the main way of gold plating metals is by dipping the piece of metal into a solution of electrolytes and using an electric current that basically sticks the gold onto the piece of metal. That is the cheapest way of gold plating, $2 to $5 per square inch if the process is made in China. And it is the least durable way of gold plating a metal because the layer of gold is really thin. We're thinking 1 to 2.5 microns. And so that might explain why Zorna is very proud of using a second method, which is called PVD, physical vapor deposition, which basically consists in having atoms, not dust, but atoms of gold in a vacuum chamber suck onto the piece of metal, and that is what apparently makes it much more durable. Here we're looking at $3 to $10 per square inch, so it's still a rather cheap process, much cheaper than what I had in mind. And it's not necessarily because things are cheap that they're not good, because as you can see, the shine here is really gorgeous. But I guess because it's gold and because gold has this association with expensive and luxury, I was really imagining that having gold hardware on your handbag was something really exceptional and difficult to achieve. And that makes me wonder a bit why brands like Chanel, for example, who used to gold plate their hardware, have stopped doing it, because it's a rather cheap process, and in my opinion, in the eyes of the consumer, it adds a lot of value. And so just for fun, I have actually asked ChatGPT to give me an estimate of the cost it took to manufacture this bag in China. And that is a grand total of $36 to $69. I think we're probably in the lower end of that fork, simply because from the content I've been watching from Tanner Leatherstein, who, you know, dissects bags and gives the cost of the leather, craftsmanship, etc. Some of the bags he has dissected I have, and we are quite far from the quality and the feel and the suppleness from those bags, in my opinion. But in any case, $200 for this bag does not feel like I got completely ripped off. So I'm just going to interrupt myself for a news flash. Between the time I recorded this video and now when I'm editing it, they have actually increased the price from $200 to $350 for the bag. I'm gonna be honest, at that price, I don't really find that it's worth it. First, for the reasons that I exposed before in the video, but also now that I've been using it for a little while. And I have noticed first little holes actually in the four corners of the bag. So the bag hasn't been sewn very well, or I assume it's not to let the things inside your bag breathe. And the second reason is that I still find that even after some time, although the leather has gotten more supple, it still feels quite plasticky, and that might be because of the heavy finish. I also find that the finish is wearing off quite quickly on the handles compared to the texture on the rest of the bag. So to me, spending $150, $200 on this bag makes it still worth it because of the gold, obviously. Beyond that, because of the quality and the terrible unboxing experience, I think you can get much more for $350 than this bag, in spite of the little layer of gold. So now back to Candid Ariane, who had just discovered her bag. I have been wearing this bag since I made the first part of this video very proudly. I really like the design. I like to say that it's gold because people go like, oh my god. And now I can explain actually the process of gold plating, which, you know, makes me look smart on top of being stylish. And just a bit more seriously, I thought that gold plating was so exceptional that even the most luxurious brands like, you know, Louis Vuitton or Chanel don't do it. If they didn't do it, it was probably because it was an extremely pricey and complex process, and I realized that it is absolutely not. I was considering buying this brand Lalage Beaumont, which also has gold-plated hardware, and their bags, you know, start at like $1,200. And to me, that was, you know, the holy grail of the handbag, when you can wear your handbag like you would wear jewelry. And I thought, well, it's gold-plated, so it justifies it. And actually, I realized that it doesn't. If you feel like sharing with everyone how you feel about the prices of handbags these days, and if you find that it's worth spending that much on a handbag just because it's from a certain brand, or just because it's calfskin, or just because it's gold plated. I'd be really happy to hear your opinion, and that would be really valuable for everyone. Thank you for spending this time with me. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you like this type of content, I invite you to subscribe to this channel. And as of me, I will see you very happily in the next one. À bientôt!